Contrast Uncut, yeah, you know that's us. Where we only speak the real and the real rock with us. Where we motivate the people in politics.
What's happening? It's Contrast Uncut. It's season 4. This is my first spotlight episode of the season, and I got a very mega special guest for this first spotlight episode. I want to give a big shout out to Uncle Snoops Army and Bobby D Presents. I appreciate you, brothers. It's your host, Zylo, aka DJ Juan Dollars Like I Won Some Money. Ladies and gentlemen, today like I said, we have an incredibly dope special guest. He's from the, Little Rock, Arkansas, by the way of Memphis, to Dago, to now his new home, but he ain't there right now. But he's from the city of Angels, Los Angeles. He is the brilliant mind behind the fashion leader, fashion house, Rich Fresh. He has that contagious hustling energy, and he has had a true understanding of putting heart and vision into each item he tailors and adds exclusively to our market. This brother has changed the way we see things, exclusively in the menswear department. This brother went from alterations to sales to tailoring and has resonated with everyone as an authentic and genuine brother that is to the go-to tastemaker and trendsetter for the world's biggest and brightest stars. From the Hollywoods to the stages to the NBA and beyond. He's writing his own history, just like the next chapter in his new adventure, Henry Mass, where his brother is the co-founder with his brother Chase Morgan, and they are once again changing the way we see things with Henry Mass. And if you don't know who we have on the show by now, it's all good. We got the king of fresh, the man responsible for putting fresh in the word refreshing. He is the drip guy. Fresh Patrick Henry, everybody. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing fantastic, bro. I appreciate you, man. Shout out Zylo, man. Shout out my guy Zylo, man.
Hey, all love, brother. Time's the most finite thing we have on this earth. I gotta make sure I tell you from the beginning, from the jump. I appreciate you for fucking with me, fucking with the viewers, and just being transparent and doing the interview.
Absolutely, bro. Yeah. It's always a pleasure, man. You gotta share the story. When you come up, man, the most selfish thing to do is to hide your come up. You know what I'm saying? From the people who could benefit from it. It's selfish as fuck.
I love that, brother. I love that. Speaking of time, because you have to really compartmentalize your time. You got to prioritize things. You got to say, hey, you know what I want to do tomorrow, I may not be able to do that till next week because I got to do this, that, and the third. And it took a lot of time of understanding the values of handling your time the right way. So let everybody know what's a normal 24 hours for you.
So yeah, like my 24 hours, it's I usually get up 6:30. I'm usually up every morning 6:30, 7 a.m. at the latest. No matter what coast I'm on. And first thing I do, man, it's I should not be proud of this, but the very first thing I do is grab my phone and go on social media. I be in the bed, man, half sleep. I grab that phone, I crack one eye open. I go take my snapshot. I tell the fans morning. I got to tell them good morning every morning, send them an ugly photo of myself in bed. And then I check out like what's going on, just a quick little overview. And it kind of gives me an idea of what message I need to deliver to the people. I don't go on and just do shit arbitrarily. Like, I really allow myself to kind of be guided in like my movement. So, I'll check that out, see what's popping. I'll get some Instagram interaction. I'll put a post up. I'll come down. I'll rap with my bro. Me and my brother, we got a crib in Calabasas. We out here in Mexico right now vacating. So, we get to work, man. We connect probably between 8 and 9. We just going back and forth, figuring out some business shit, getting a sense of structure for the day. At 9, we usually eating breakfast. By 10, we're having another set of business meetings going over like our operation. Like we got 2 companies right now that we're overseeing, so it's just a lot of energy, Jack. You know what I'm saying? So we get that going. It's sales call after business call after operational call. We got hours of those, and then just being future focused. Like we are the visionaries for the brand, so the brand doesn't go where we don't see it going. So we have to be able to see where it's supposed to go. Straight up, like that's the thing that God gave us. Like God didn't make us the fastest. He didn't make us the tallest. He didn't make us the most athletic, but he gave us vision. He gave us a sense of vision that we've been able to communicate to our people. You know, we got 60 some odd employees, and we got to make sure that the train is moving in the proper direction.
Right.
So we get it all our time, and then, you know, we'll just vibe out, man. Just do goofy shit. You know what I mean? We brothers. We've always been brothers, so it's always love, and we have fun around each other, but we always get to the business. At some point today, you know, it goes from Henry to Rich Fresh to just what's next. Like, what about next year? What about 12 months from now? And then shit, we eat some food, smoke some weed, drink some water, think about some things, and then do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? It's grind, baby. It's just a constant grind. Like, we figured out how to make work fun, so it doesn't feel like we work all the time. It feels like we have fun all the time, but we're actually working all the time.
Yeah, no, that's something that people don't understand. When you make your passion, your purpose, and then your purpose, your financial growth, then from there, you're really receiving all the fruits of your labor. You're enjoying the fruition of your vision, because we walk by faith and not by sight. And a lot of people don't understand that you got to be spirit driven. You got to feed your spirit. And one thing I could tell is that you continue to feed your spirit, and you also let your spirit drive. You're not just like, you know, I don't just not trust myself. I trust myself and then some. And that's, you know, it's an outer body thing, but at the same time, you have to really trust what's going on. You have to listen to that voice that's telling you, hey, you know, you need to go this way. Because if you go this way, you're going to fall into some shit. And then once you fall into some shit, you're going to be like, you had to clean yourself up, versus you could already be going forward. Choices.
Right. Oh, straight up, bro. And like, we've all fallen victim to that. I mean, a few years ago, you know, Rich Fresh is a young brand. I started Rich Fresh in 2018. And the reason that Rich Fresh, the reason why it took off so quickly and why it's had like a continued success. Oh, yeah, pardon the waves, man. You know, the waves are, you know, they loud out here, baby. You know what I'm saying? Them waves, I don't know if you can see that ocean, because it's kind of
Hey,
backlit.
it may be certain parts in this video I may just cut up just for the waves, because I ain't been to Mexico, so I'm like, them is that you know, them foreign waves that sound really good and exotic.
Hey, man, look, you know, let me go ahead and get that little view of that. There we go. God is the greatest, man.
Amen. All glory to God.
That's great. But yeah, but
Fresh,
you know,
bro.
I was
I just gotta say this, fresh. I didn't have to mess with Drake to get views. Thank you.
Oh, that's what's up. You get views from the 5, from the 5 and the 6. But yeah, like, prior to me launching the brand, bro, I was on some other shit. I was very like, I wasn't walking by faith. I was walking by flesh. Like, I was doing what the flesh told me. And what I found out is the flesh and the spirit are different. They got different goals. You know what I'm saying? They want different things. The flesh will die. The flesh knows it will die. The flesh wants to die quick. The flesh is all about destruction. The spirit is all about ascension. You know what I'm saying? And so when you follow in the flesh, you follow in destruction. You follow in the path of destruction. And I was just all flesh. It was nothing spiritual. I mean, I was a nice guy, but when you saw my moves, you could tell what motivated me. The flesh is what moved me. And then I just got to the point, like, you know, I lost everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you're like, you're young, you got a sound mind, and you end up with your money fucked up, or you end up like I was homeless, you know what I'm saying? Like in a homeless shelter, not like on somebody's couch chilling, watching TV and shit. I'm talking about a shelter, sleeping next to junkies and bums and shit. You realize that, like, damn, I did something wrong. And what I realized was I was following the wrong compass. My compass was set on flesh, and it landed me at my destination. And in order for me to change my destination, I had to change the compass. And that's when I really made a commitment to honor the spirit and to follow it. And so I just stopped a bunch of shit, bro. You know, I used to, you know, it's LA, man. LA is cocaine city. So, you know, I was with all that shit, man. The coke, the drink, the hoes, just a debaucherous existence. I wasn't thinking about shit else. And as soon as I switched it up and just let me put all that shit to the side and really focus on what I'm doing, focus on me and my personal energy and my legacy and just putting some respect on my name. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really put respect in your name when you're doing a bunch of foul shit. But when you know that, like, your energy is pure and the space you're creating for yourself is pure, you'll force people to put respect in your name. I make people, you ain't got no option. You speak on my name, you put some motherfucking respect on it because I earned that.
It's
you know, I put respect on my name first. So I demand that everyone else do it. And I saw an instant change, bro. An instant change. I ain't talking about like, oh, one day, a long time after I know. The second I committed to the spirit, my whole life changed. And it's just been, it's been a dream ever since.
I can testify to a lot of the same things as you, brother, but I don't want to spend too much time trying to compare to you. I got some more hills and some more valleys to climb and see and feel, but that's here not there. But I want to make sure I give you your flowers, brother, for being a dedicated father. You know, I appreciate you, brother, for always keeping your daughter in the light and making sure people understand, although you're living your dream and you did all these works, everything built up to this point, you're still doing everything that you can to make sure she's provided for. And I just gotta give you your respects, brother.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, man, that's my little joint, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see it right there, Ava. That's the heartbeat right there. So, and I mean, that's really the reason why I had to get a lot of my shit together, because it's like, when it's just you and it's just like, man, it's just me. It's like, whatever, man, you do whatever. But when you know that there's somebody who's counting on you to be something, they're counting you to not be a fuck up, it challenges you in a different way. And I was just challenged, like, damn, man, you know, I can't, my story can't end like this. My story can't end with me fucked up and broke and homeless, because that's not fair to my kid. That's going to put her in a bad spot. I don't want that to be the legacy that she has to find her way out of. You know what I'm saying? Like, she deserves something different. So I committed myself, man, to just work for it. I promised her I was going to make something happen. I was going to get the cars. I was going to get the crib. I was going to get all the shit. And I really just worked just to honor my word. Like, man, I told her I wasn't going to be a screw up. So let me just make sure I'm not. And now, you know, we're in a position where, like, I'm confident that her life is going to be spectacular because I've made some sacrifices. My brother's made some sacrifices. And shit, you know, she just has the good fortune of now having a dad and an uncle who made some shit happen.
You know, along with those sacrifices, you were able to see during that time that, you know, you were able to attract wealth. And that's been one of the greatest journeys I feel that you've been able to conquer, is that you turned the flip coin of the thing and was like, hey, I don't want to be on this side of the coin. I want to be on this side. Like, that's shiny. I like the way that shines, but I can make that. And that's something I'm very proud of, like, because you embraced it. You weren't afraid. You were afraid of, you know, tomorrow I may have to sleep at the park because I didn't make it in time to get into the homeless shelter just because
Which happened.
Cut off line. Oh, I know, bro. I'm telling you, I've been down that road. And you know, it's so important to understand that that never had a shadow over your bright day that came the next morning. And you never allowed that dark moment to go ahead and reap you where everyone could go ahead and take it to the next step and be gone. The flesh, you right, brother, the flesh once is gone. But the spirit, because, you know, faith without hard work is dead. And you know, that's something that people don't understand. You got to put 10,000 hours in. You got to be an outlier. You got to master what you're doing. Even if you don't know what you're doing, you just know you're moving in that direction. And that's something I can always say that I've learned from your story, is that because you continue to move in that way, and when you made that decision to walk by faith and you know, not listen to the flesh and not listen to what your desire, but what you feel your soul desires, that's when you really got to go to the high point of the valleys and didn't have to fall back down.
All facts. And, you know, I mean, it's all, life is a series of decisions. Life is a series of, like, fork in the road moments and decisions. From birth. Life is a series of fork in the road moments and then your decision to go right or left. You know what I'm saying? So I never wanted to make clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a designer. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was 13, I wanted to be a designer. But by the time I was an adult, in my 20s, I was an alterations tailor. I was the person that could do the alterations really well. And I was really proud of my ability to take anything and make it better than it was. I thought that was like a cool thing. So, you know, I always struggled, never really had no real money with it, but I felt that even that skill set would take me far. I knew how to make bags. I was like, okay, cool, I can make bags too. So me and my brother and my daughter, we moved from Memphis to San Diego, just like spur of the moment. I ain't had no money. I had like $500 on me, and a kid I had to feed, and they'd never been to San Diego before. Didn't know nobody there. But I was like, I'm not afraid of a challenge. So we went for it. Get to San Diego, you know, we had our fair share of struggle, ton of struggle. But there's always those key moments, you know what I'm saying? Those catalysts. We bumped into a stylist. I don't even know how the fuck we met Majuba, but there's a stylist named Majuba in San Diego, and she came across us. I think she may have met my brother at this event, and then she found out that I do alterations, and she reached out to one of her clients. Was like, "Yo, I got those alterations." He needed me to recut a suit he got married in. I didn't know anything about what kind of suit it was. It was an Armani suit. Like, okay, cool. So I did my thing because I'm a very good tailor. I recut it, took the shoulders off, put it back together, recut everything. It fit his new body beautiful, spectacular. I got the suit back to him like the next week. He was like, holy shit, man, how'd you do this, man? This shit fits perfect. It's amazing. I was like, man, I'm just good at what I do, baby. He's like, wow, and how much I owe you? So I'm thinking, you know, I done did my thing, so I'm gonna have to tax bro real quick. I'm like, well, you know, it's gonna be 400, like YG 400, and
Shout out,
you know, I'm expecting, you know, when you tell you're gonna charge somebody $400 to fix an article of clothing, you expect, oh shit, okay, well look, man, you did a great job, but oh, that's expensive. He didn't say that. Bro was like, oh shit, that's it, oh sweet, and rather than just get the check and keep it pushing, like I had that aha moment. I had that. I'm very analytical, and I always analyze shit. I analyze why people do what they do. Why do people move the way they move? Why do they say what they say? Why do they act the way they act? Why do they respond to these colors? Like I'm very big on like psychology of humans. So something asked me, why did he say, okay, like that? Why was he so cool with spending that much money on that suit? You need to ask that man how much his suit costs. And so I just instinctively, I was like, hey, Bobby, hey, bro, how much was this suit? He was like, oh, I don't know, it's probably like 2,500, $3,000. And I wasn't used to that shit. You coming from Memphis, an expensive suit is $600. So to hear someone say $3,000, I was like, the fuck? He was like, bro, that's nothing, dude. I got a closet full of them. Bro opened his closet, he had 20, 30 more of them, and they didn't fit. And I looked at my brother, and I was just like, nah, man, I'm on the wrong side of this coin. I'm on the wrong side of this coin. I'm getting paid little money to fix somebody's big money shit. I should be the big money. And that was the day. That was like, fuck this shit. I got to get into custom. I got to be able to make the suits. And so, you know, I reached out to one of my mentor cats in Memphis. Shout out Michael C. Thomas. And Mike put me on to one of the sources that used to do custom from him back in the day. And that's where I started. You know, they didn't do the best job, but I'm a tailor, so I can take anything and make it spectacular. I just needed to get a shell to work on. So I started there, no real success. A few failed enterprises afterwards. I moved to LA. And after working at Xenia for a year, I was like, you know what? Now I'm in a space where I've been selling the $2,500 suits, the $3,000 suits. So it's not foreign to me anymore. And I know how to make suits, and my job tripping, I'm about to flex real quick. So I started up my own shit. I made some money real quick. I quit my job, and I've been dolo ever since. It ain't been sweet, but it was that moment in San Diego that put me in the mindset of doing what I'm doing today.
No, that's amazing, brother. You said, because people that don't know, Neiman Marcus, they charge you 70, 170, depending on what you getting cut up. So when you go alterations, you double that. And I can just imagine the look on his face of like, no, I just dropped this and this fits again. I don't have to spend 3 bands. I get to cut my 3 bands in a big old portion. I
You
can
know what I'm
just
saying? Like I did him a favor.
come on. But it did you a favor. And it leads me into my quote. Let me know how this quote relates to you, or if it doesn't, the idea is I just want you to talk about it.
Okay.
You could never be upset with the people who forced you into your dreams. Tyler Perry.
Yeah. You can never be upset with him. Yo, man. And that's such a key statement, right? When we moved out to San Diego, shit, man, look, my whole life is about that. Like when I was 13, I was not a cool kid. I was the second worst dressed kid in my middle school in Little Rock. How the fuck are you the second worst dressed kid in Little Rock? You must be really bad, Jack. You're talking about Little Rock. I ain't the second worst dressed kid in LA. You're talking about Little Rock. You weren't even trying. So that made me say, nah, I gotta do some different shit. And so I was tutoring a cheerleader and I had a crush on her, but something was like, nah, man, don't go that route. Ask her some shit about girls, bro. She understands girls better than you. You really want to find out how to get these girls. And I found out that like the way I dressed really affected my inability to get girls. That changed my life. After that, I was 13 then. After that, that's when I taught myself how to sew. I started really studying like all these fashion magazines and shit, looking at Vogues and Cosmopolitans and shit. And by the time I moved to Memphis at 15, I made sure I was the freshest motherfucker in my high school. And in fact, I was just that. But it took like not being it in Little Rock to make me want to be it in Memphis. When I was down bad, Xenia. I honestly, I was Xenia's top salesperson. So they had opened a new location at the Beverly Center. I was the only black dude there. I got tattoos and shit, but I understand people. So I'm blowing everyone out the water in terms of sales. It's simple for me. I really thought I was going to build a career with Xenia. And I started really putting too much energy into how I could benefit them. And I developed a system to help train the other sales staff on how to do proper fittings because they were fucking up the fittings. They was fucking suits up. They were asking me to fit their suits because I'm a tailor. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me put together a curriculum to teach these people how to do this more proficiently. I put that together. I presented it to corporate. They were like, wow, this is really great. Thank you so much. Okay, amazing. When do you want to teach this? I set a date. It was good. Next thing you know, 2 days before the shit, they decided to take it from me and give it to some other foreign tailor who don't speak good English to come in and teach. And not only to teach the staff, but to teach me. They brought a motherfucker in to teach me my own curriculum. And I just thought that was mad disrespectful. And I told them about it afterwards because it was very disorganized and confusing. And I told them that, my friend, was a waste of time. That was what we call a shit show. You could have done that better by keeping it the way it was. You didn't have to mess with it.
You know what their problem is? That people take an idea and don't understand you took it from the source and ran away with it. But all you know is ABC, and you get to Z, not understanding you need all these other variables. There's 22 other letters that got skipped.
Straight up. And that's exactly what happened. It was terrible. But that moment, it put a bullseye on me. And it was like, oh, this Negro is one of them outspoken ones. We got to put him in his place. We got to show him who he worked for. So, I just had a quick wake-up call and realized that, everybody don't like you. You know what I'm saying? So, after that moment forced me to go and to do my own thing. Thank you, Xenia. I appreciate you guys.
The world appreciates y'all. Y'all don't understand. Thank you.
Thank you, Xenia. And then, me going through my various storms. I mean, I was depressed for a long time. I had drug problems for a long time. I got mistreated. I made bad business decisions. And you think that all these things are for your destruction. Like, oh, man, I'm doomed. Nah, sometimes God works all things for the good of those, you know what I'm saying, who, are called to do his work. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll take your bad and turn it into good just to prove to you what you're capable of and how powerful he is. So I look up and I'm in this shelter and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not happy about this shit. Because somebody had ripped me off. The client had ripped me off $15,000. I had fronted all my money expecting this client was going to give me my money back. And this rich ass client of mine ran off on the plug. And so here I am calling this rich dude like, hey, bro, can I get my money? I mean, I know you connected, you managing Gaga and shit. Like, can I get my money? I know you got some. Can I get mine? And bro played me, right? So I'm mad about that. That was a bad thing. But then, I reached out to some friends because, I had a few friends. I'm a friendly guy. I got some chicks who I've been smashing. I'm a friendly guy. So I reached out to my people and was like, yo, man, look, I got a little situation. Y'all know I'm solid because we was just kicking it last week. And I need a couch or some shit to crash on for like a day. I'm gonna bounce around a little bit till I come up on this check. Can I pull up to your crib? Can I hit that couch? Then I asked 10 people who I was close to, like to my niggas, you know what I'm saying? Or like to my bitches, you know what I'm saying? People you expect an absolute from it. All of them told me no, which is like mind blowing that someone would tell you no in your moment of need. You know what I'm saying? But it was God. It was God. Because I was supposed to go through that. People don't realize sometimes you're supposed to go through hell. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to go through that in order for God to descend from the heavens, sit next to me and have a conversation and say, look, you see, this is what happened when you follow the flesh and when you trust man and you don't trust God. All right, I tell you what, you're in a real bad spot. You want to stay here? I was like, hell no. He was like, well, look, check this out. Here's what we're going to do different. I need you to start following me. Stop following man. Stop asking this nigga for this money. You know he ain't never going to give you. Like, I had just called, bro, and it just, nigga, where the fuck is my motherfucking money at, bro? Stop fucking playing with me. Get my goddamn fucking money. I just had one of them sessions in a homeless shelter, talking to a nigga in his mansion about some money he better give me, right? But God came immediately after that and was like, don't ever call that man again, asking that man for shit. That man's not your God. I'm your God. You asked me for it. Life-changing moment. I was out the shelter a week later. I made $1 million 12 months later from $300. I took $300 and flipped it to $1 million. No investors, no loans, me, God, and him giving me a sense of direction and the ability to follow that direction. And I'm taking that, man, that was 2018. We in 2021 already. We done some pivotal things, and it's just like following God, but it's willing to go through those moments, like you said, the bad shit that turns into the best shit that could ever happen for you. People sleep on that, man. Sometimes you got to accept the bad shit just to see how capable God is.
I have I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. When I see a lot of your interviews, I see you talk on live. There's a lot of things you say. I feel like you're speaking from my soul sometimes. Like, we've been down this path before. You had a blueprint. I got a blueprint. I'm on my own thing. You on your own thing. But we both know that we're just canvassing it. You've already got to build everything from your blueprint. I'm still building. Like, I got great things. But there were so many different storms along the way that allow me to understand and see things that other people don't see. And those are the things that are easier for us, that is harder for them. And that's what we're supposed to, keep on exercising. I've had moments where, because I got into an argument with my rich friend, and he was my only rich friend, but I helped him get all his jobs. I helped him become a National Salesman of the Year for Pepsi and did all this stuff. And he kicked me out one night because he got me drunk and didn't want to feed me. Like, bro, you always feed me because you got the money. I'm going to help you make your money. I don't understand that I have a gift. All I see is I'm providing for him, and I'm seeing him win. And, at that point, when you raised in the hood, if somebody winning in the team, we all winning. And he wasn't from the hood. He was, a square white kid that I met in college, and we hit it off. I didn't know he was trying to get all the game from me on how to maneuver outside, the country club. And so hit fast forward, him and I get into a big old argument and a fight. He leaves me out and gives me all my shit, and I got to sleep in Culver City at a park. And from there, I was like, all right, my best friend ain't my best friend. I need to go ahead and resurface how I'm doing things in LA. My girlfriend at the time didn't really love me. She just loved what I could do for the family and how I can provide in different ways. And I'm like, all right, this ain't for me either. And I'm like, so I had to resurface myself. I went back to a place called Bakersfield that I went to high school from. And then from there, I started with ground nothing, invested everything I had into studio equipment, not an apartment, not a bed. Shit, I didn't even have a blanket. And all I had was just a hoodie and sweats that I go to sleep in every night. And my brother, I love my brother to death, but he would turn on that damn AC in the nighttime. And he's big. You know, I'm not that big.
Right.
He sweats, I don't sweat. And, you know, bro, I was freezing every night. And then, you know, God sends you people. You know, you got to listen. You got to listen at your darkest moments. And when you're broken down and you have nothing, you got to just dig. Because if you don't dig, they're going to start digging for you. And then you're going to wonder what's going to happen next because it's over.
Straight up.
And you know, along my journey, brother, I've been able to go up and down. I gave 7 years to a business. I made $1 million and created all these different policies and training. I invented a thing with curbside for them way before pandemic. And then boom, I started taking a gun to work because I got into it with a customer and I quit. And so, you know, this whole environment changed because God will make you so uncomfortable that you got to understand what you're going through is not for you. And the moment you realize it's not for you is the moment you start to elevate. And the moment you elevate, you having moments like this where you showing people like me, you know, the views in Mexico and understanding that Calabasas ain't just a foreign word that's in a Drake song.
Oh, straight up. Absolutely.
So fresh, but not to lose my point, but I want to know, speaking about the fashion industry from your perspective, did the game choose you or did you choose the game from your perspective?
From my perspective, the game chose me. I ain't gonna even lie. I didn't know shit about fashion. I didn't come from a fashion family. I didn't, bro. When the girl told me, she literally told me, I'm 13 years old. The girl was like, you know what? There's some girls I think would like you, but you dress like a 7-year-old. Ain't no girl gonna like you because you don't dress right. Like if you dress better, I think girls would like you. I was like, okay, well, I'll try that. What's that called? She's like, well, I think it's called fashion. I was like, okay, let me look it up. Man, I took my green ass to the library, bro. The library, and looked up fashion. And I found biographies. Ralph Lauren's biography, Calvin Klein's biography. I just read it to find out what is this fashion thing. I didn't choose it. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be an architect. But fashion chose me, and fashion showed me what it could do. Because like I went from being a very insecure kid. I didn't want no one looking at me, ever. You never heard my voice. I didn't want to have to get up and walk because I didn't like anything about myself, really, aside from the fact that I was smart. But once I found fashion and really understood it, bro, I'm talking about it took on, it's got a spirit, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a living thing. I became the most confident teenager I've ever been. I was the freshest. I was still in all the AP classes, still super smart, but all the shortcomings, those disappeared. All the insecurities disappeared. And I realized that, like, damn, I got chose for this thing. And like, I was helping to change the trajectory of kids around me. Like my brother ended up at the same high school as me. I was like, yo, bro, you can't be dressed like this, nigga. I'm your brother. You got to step it up. So modified the way he dressed. I seen a lot of other kids at school who couldn't get the girl they wanted or wasn't getting the respect they wanted. I'd be like, look, I'm going to go shopping this weekend. Slap me 20. I'll let you come shopping with me, and I'll walk you through how I make the moves I make. And they would come and do that, and I would school them, and I would see their lives change. I'd see their confidence level change. And I realized by the time it was graduation time, I was a smart kid. I had like a 3.8. I damn near aced my ACT. So I had scholarship offers from everywhere, bro. Everywhere. Stanford, Yale, Rhodes, all these big schools, full rides. But God spoke to me and was like, what's real to you? What do you want to do for the rest of your life? What's real to you? And nothing was more real than fashion at that point because it did something none of the other shit could do. Me being smart, it didn't do shit for me. Like, not in the social space, but like, I like my life because of my discovery of fashion, and it changed my life. I owe fashion something. I owe I owe a debt of gratitude to this thing called fashion. I'm gonna commit my life to it, and I'm gonna figure out how to help other people and get some bread out in these streets. So that was at 18. I told my parents, they're like, okay, so which school you want? And I was like, well, so none of them? It's like, fuck you mean none of them? I was like, so look, check this out. I know I never really talked about this before, but I really want to be a fashion designer. Fashion is something special, man, and I got to figure out how to do something with this fashion thing. It was like, boy, what the fuck in hell? What the hell is you talking about? You're the oldest. You're the oldest sibling. Like you're mad capable. Like your mom is the first one in her family to go to college. I'm the first one in my family to finish college, get an MBA. The fuck you mean you don't want to go to college? You want to do fashion? What the fuck is fashion? That ain't no real, boy. You better get you a real job. I was like, nah, I'm serious about what I just said. I'm gonna do this fashion thing. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm smart enough. I'm gonna figure it out. And man, I got to fight with my family. I got to fight it with my parents at 18 because I decided fashion is it, man. Fashion called me. I accepted the calling just like folks be accepting the calling to preach. I accepted the calling to do this. This is going to be my ministry. And man, I ended up having to move out. Like it got real. And life hadn't been easy. It's been tough. Like I watched all my friends get real jobs and I'm doing alterations and shit, getting a little money. They getting cars and shit. I ain't got no credit because I ain't got no job. I ain't got no on paper income. So I'm living a totally different life. They're going on vacation. I'm having a hustle. I just didn't, my life wasn't mapping out like theirs. And these are sacrifices that you make, but it wasn't my decision. You know, God spoke and was like, this is your path. Like I saw a glimpse of it when I was a kid. When I was like 12, I got this epiphany and I saw like two split realities. One that was the expected course. You know what I'm saying? I go to school, I go to college, I get my degree, I go back, I get my master's, I get some good job, I'm making decent money, I got a beautiful wife, I got 2 kids, I got this nice house, I got this fucking white picket fence, and I hate nothing more than a fucking white picket fence. I hate it. So when I saw that in my vision, I knew that's not the life for me. I don't know what this means at 12, but I do know that's not the life for me. But then, as soon as I realized that that's not what I wanted, I saw this other reality that was smoky. And the dude had shades on. And he was real, like, mysterious. And his hair was wild. And the cameras was flashing. I was like, who the fuck is that? That's some rock star shit. I ain't never seen nothing like that. I want to pursue some shit like that. So, it's you know, it took a long time to come to fruition, but I've kind of always known that this is going to be it for me, you know?
Oh, I love the fact that you knew that that wasn't for you. See, personally for me, bro, we grew up hella poor. Like in LA, you had to wear uniforms. And so on the weekends come, I would like team up because I made sure I always had nice shoes, but all I had was uniform clothes. And
Right.
so on the weekends, I team up with all my friends. We lived in like a 300 apartment unit building. And so all my friends, we'd all wear clothes together. And so I'd wear some clothes that don't fit me. I'd give my shoes up to somebody else and wear something else because it would match. Like my whole thing, I love trying to like dress and be different. It's, you know, complex but simple has always been something I understood as a kid. And so I always rocked with that. Then we moved from LA. My mom and my stepdad, they were, you know, nomads. They picked up and moved as soon as they thought the wind was different sometimes. And boom, now we're out there living in Bakersfield. We're staying in a Motel 6, trying to go to school. And because I went from uniforms to a regular school that has regular clothes, not uniforms, I only have 2 outfits, literally. And one's a bright ass yellow Adidas shirt with the black lines with the 3, like the build up. I wore that motherfucker 3 times a week. And like, I'll never forget any of that. And, you know, it allowed me to really appreciate the way that I put myself together and presented myself to the world, because I found out that if nobody knows what I had on, what's going on the inside, they will never know what my life is like. They can't judge me. And the moment people could take away that ability to judge me, I felt like I was winning in life. I felt like I was able to do some moves that they've never seen before, because they don't know I'm homeless, or they don't know that we're not eating. The only time we're eating is breakfast and lunch at school. And when we eat on the weekends, we're sharing the kids' meal between a brother and a sister. I get the burger, my sister get the fries, my little brother get the drink. Like, and you know, that's just the struggle. And you know, people will never ever know that because I will never ever allow people to see that side of me. And when I've heard you speak about some of the dark sides of the shit we've gone through, especially when it's out of your control, you know, you have to just give all glory to God and understand that you saw it in a different light. And because of that, that's what makes you different today. That's why everything you touch is different. And that's what separates you from everybody else.
Thanks, bro. Like, man, look, I was a single dad for 6 years, man. I had my daughter Dolo from the time she was 2 until she was 8, like 24 hours a day. Her mom, she wasn't ready. She ran off. It was like, it's cool. It's a cool little kid. You know, I'm not going to abandon my daughter. I'm not going to send her to my mom. I'm not going to send her to her mom's mom. Like, this is my responsibility. And we struggled, man. You know, we slept on couches, man. I got an older half brother. We slept on his couch for a few weeks, and he put us out. You know, we was on welfare. We got food stamps, government assistance. You know what I'm saying? We'd have friends that knew our struggle. They'd invite us over to the house, make sure we had something to eat and shit. We've been there, man. And that's why, like, I ain't just like, oh, look at me. I'm the shit. Look at all these poor people. I can't never be on no fuck shit like that because, like that, God will take you up. He'll take your ass back down, too. Straight up. So, like, that level of humility is, like, instilled to just, like, really appreciate the shit and understand not to judge people based on their circumstances because, again, God can change circumstances. You can't ever focus on that. You know, I put a post up yesterday on the ground showing off all these cars and shit. You know, God is great. Motherfuckers went from, I didn't have a car from 2014 to 2019. That's 5 years in LA with no car. I rode the bus and I Uber pooled. I ain't have no car. And I was like, shit, I'm gonna cop me a Roddy.
See, that's right.
And then I caught me another one.
You manifested so much, bruh. That's something else that's so amazing because you saw the vision while you was on the bus. From the subways to the bus. I didn't have Uber back then because they wasn't having Uber when I was living in LA. But you ride on them buses 3-4 hours a day. You got a plan to arrive somewhere 3 hours in advance.
You know what I'm
like,
saying?
Come on,
multiple buses. You gotta get off the 720 and hop on the 116. You know what I'm saying? To then get on the, it's crazy, bro. That shit was crazy. But
Santa Monica.
It's those moments that make you appreciate when you up. You know what I'm saying? Because you know no one gave it to you. If a motherfucker gave me this, I couldn't appreciate the same because I know somebody could take it from me. No one gave me this. This is me and God, and I know God got me. This ain't going nowhere. You know, but I put the post up to remind people, like, I show off the shit, but I remind people, I was poor. Don't be mad at me. I was poor. You got to stay down until you come up. I never hated on none of my homeboys who was rich. They pull up on me. They'd have a new Range Rover or Bentley or whatever. I always show love because I'm a big believer of if you can, I must. If I see someone, I found out that Bill Gates was a billionaire when I was in high school, and that shifted my trajectory. I never wanted to be a millionaire after I found out that Bill Gates, young ass Bill Gates, is a billionaire. Why is my goal to be a millionaire and this motherfucker became a billionaire? It's possible. Someone else did it. Well, shit. I just got to reset my expectation. I need to expect more from myself. So it's one of the things, man, you know, and again, it's baby shit, bro. We just getting started. I'm going to ball and stunt, and I'm going to lay a blueprint because I want people to follow in the footsteps. I want people to figure out how to overcome their own demons and struggles and ball out so they can do the same shit. I used to watch Pursuit of Happiness all the time, bro. I watched that movie with my daughter all the time to see how Chris Gardner went from being homeless to seeing him off chance encounters, bro. A chance, that fork in the road moment. When he saw that dude parking that Ferrari, he could have kept his mouth shut. He could have kept his mouth shut and not said shit. He could have kept walking and said, man, I ain't fit to speak to that person. But God probably told him, man, say something to that dude. Man, that's a nice car, man. oh, hey, thanks, man. You know, hey, don't take it too far. Oh no, you know what I'm saying? What do you do? What do you do? He challenged Chris to ask that man, what do you do? Oh, me? Oh, I'm a stockbroker. Word? Yeah. I bet you gotta go to college for that. Nah. You just gotta be good with numbers and have some hustle. Well, I ain't got shit. But I do have some hustle and I'm good with numbers. And this nigga got a Ferrari. I bet I can, because he got it. Now how the fuck Chris Gardner do that? And I can't. I needed Pursuit of Happiness. I thank God for that man's testimony, because it shaped me from mine. When I was going through my struggle, bro, part of what kept me from cracking, because like when you I ain't grow up poor. You know what I'm saying? I only became poor when I was an adult. So when you in some shit like that, that shit can break your spirit. That'll make a motherfucker lose their mind and go crazy. But I kept being reminded, this man struggled. My daughter didn't have to be home. We slept on couches together, but my daughter didn't have to be in the shelter with me. Chris Gardner kid was in the shelter with him. We saw that shit like, his shit was different. Who am I to complain? It's grown-ass women in shelters with their children. Who am I to complain that I fucked up and got myself here? It's a woman running away from a nigga that won't stop beating on her. And she in the same situation, and she's grateful to be out of that hell. Who am I to complain? So it just put me in another space where I could receive God eventually, as opposed to sitting around complaining, feeling like, oh, man, it's fucked up, man. The world got me. Nah, who are you to complain, bro? It's other people who've gone through worse.
Facts.
You know?
I mean, brother, I'll give you a little bit more about myself. I was born rich. Like my dad had a successful company. My family comes from creating banks in Michigan and Grand Rapids. They built furniture. They knocked down trees. My great grandfather was a judge for the Native Americans, and then they taught him what trees to knock down to build furniture and to build houses, and made their fortune. My dad died in 1991 when I was 4 years old. And so from being from wealthy, rich, all this family on the East Coast, to my dad marrying a Mexican woman and my mom leaving my dad, and we grew up poor and been poor ever since. So it's like, I'll be honest with you, you know, I walk around and I got sponsors, I got a lot of blessings, but I don't feel successful because I haven't crossed that threshold of making money yet. I haven't turned my passion, my purpose into making money yet. And I know it's coming, but at the same time, it takes brothers like yourself that are really inspiring myself to just say, hey, you got to be patient, because when that opportunity comes, you got to jump on it. And there's just been so much that I've been trying to work to restore the name so I can feel some type of way. And I don't want anything from them. I want it my own way, so that my kids and my legacy was, hey, he did it all on his own. He fell flat on his face, and no matter what, from prison and all to making mistakes and bouncing back and smiling through it. And here's the platform that's been outlaid from him.
Straight up. Straight the fuck up.
So Fresh, brother, now let me get back onto my job, because I'm starting to relate to you too much. And I'm supposed to do my job. I love the custom suits. I love what you did for the Wade family, to Kevin Hart, to Lena Waithe, to so many clients, Draymond Green, so many A-list clients, to the 3-tone Lux Sports jacket and pants, to the collab for the children clothes with Janie and Jack.
Yes, sir. Shout out Janie and Jack.
Yes, for real. You make me want to break further into the industry so my pay grade raises to my wife and children drip down by the drip god Fresh himself. But that's, another day, another story. It's coming soon. And that's a whole different thing. But I want to know, what has been your 3 favorite design pieces by you that stand out, that when you say, I think it's something to talk about that represents me, these are the 3 things that pop up in your mind?
First thing is the tracksuit, dog. Like, you can't say Rich. Bro, I brought tracksuits back. I brought them back. Niggas wasn't on tracksuits. They got off that shit. I brought it back. So tracksuit for sure. That's the one. Honestly, the suits with the stripes. I brought that out. No one was putting stripes on suits. It was too much of a juxtaposition. They didn't feel like they could do it, especially not in the luxury space. You got to keep luxury strictly luxury. And I decided that, no, you can blur the two and you can make luxury fun. And I did that shit. And I saw it catch on and become like a global movement. And then I have to say my bags. That's the first thing that I really started creating. You know, I did that when I lived in Memphis. I moved to New York for a year to tailor for some bigger brands and really get some more experience under my belt. And after the market crashed, I moved back to Memphis, where I ended up getting custody of my kid. So I got a lot of time on my hand. I'm with my daughter all day. I don't have a job. I'm just hustling from the house. And I was like, man, let me start making something that I can just make. And just once it's made, it can sit there. And if someone like it, they come and get it. And I was like, well, you can do that with bags because you can make a bag any size and you can be 5'2", 6'2". If you like a bag, you get the bag. Right. So I started doing that, and that's really what gave me that fed my family. That's what paid my bills, bro. I just made bags for like a whole year. That's how it fed me and my daughter. And then that gave me the confidence to move to the West Coast because I was like, nigga, my bags are dope. And more importantly, I'm just getting started. I know how I move. I'm a 10,000 hours dude. I'll put 10,000 hours in something so quick because I get super committed. I'm very compulsive and obsessive. So yeah, when I'm on it, I'm on it. And I was like, man, I bet if I take my ass out to the West Coast, I'm good looking, I'm talented, I know how to assert myself. I bet I can make some money out here and do something profound, more profound than I can do in Memphis. So shout out to the bags because that gave me the confidence to move to LA or to move to the West Coast. Then I realized that like bags wasn't the thing, but it still gave me the confidence to do it. And then, you know, those three things have been like life-changing. Obviously, the bags are moving now, but the bags, the track suits, and then the suits with the stripes. That's all Rich Fresh, baby.
Facts. I love how you blend the colors, brother. The tones are classic 80s blurred in with right now, and it's just like people don't understand. If you blend history with bringing it back, you're gonna have that iconic touch of, oh, I know what that's from, but I can't tell. But that's something I need.
Right. It feels familiar.
Yes.
It's like rapping over a sample. It's like rapping over an Isley sample. I don't know this rapper. I don't know this song, but I do know the sample that they're rapping over, and I'm identifying with that, which makes it easier for me to identify with the rest of the song. So sometimes you got to find that little commonality. What's the common denominator? You know, I'm an 80s baby, and I grew up overseas. I saw certain colors in Europe that I didn't see in the States. And my dad was a real sharp dresser. So I would see like the colors he would put together. They were more drab, like burgundies and olives and creams and, you know, just sea foams and teals and mauve and shit you don't see, like mustard yellow. And so even now, like these are the things that I'm not seeing present. Like I'm not seeing these things. And anytime I would see something that was vintage or retro, it would give me this nostalgic sense. And you know, my brother and I, we lost our dad in 2011. So things that like take me back to a spot where I get that feeling, it makes you feel good. So I want to produce things that make me feel good. You know, yellow is a happy color. Yellow is the color of happiness. I was a real depressed dude for a while. That's why I have a yellow tab, yellow label. You know what I'm saying? Like little things to give you that little sense of happiness and joy. And that's how I feel about colors, man. That's why, you know, I studied color psychology a little bit when I was in high school, just to understand why do people do what they do when they see certain colors. Why when you see red and yellow together, it makes you hungry. Psychologically, it does something to your body. You know, why when you see red and black together, it makes you feel on edge a little bit. Why when you see white, it makes your eyebrows go up instead of down. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have an emotional reaction to colors and people aren't aware of that. I'm very aware of it. So I was just able to take that and add that to my ability to make dope clothes. I can make dope clothes that actually move people and cause people to have an emotional reaction.
Wow.
Shit different over here, Jack.
Oh, 100%, man. 100%. That's
Yeah.
the next level on understanding it. And if it ain't hit you in the face, you can put it on rewind. But even then, if it ain't hit you in the face, you're gonna have to ask somebody to break it down. You understand me? Fresh, what's one thing people got fucked up about being a tailor?
Um, that it's easy. It's not easy. You know, sewing is easy. Anybody can sew. You get a sewing machine, you get a pattern, you can sew. But being a tailor means that you're a specialist. You know, it's like you can say, "Oh yeah, I know how to change oil." That don't make you a mechanic. I know how to change a tire. That don't make you a mechanic. I know how to take your temperature. That don't make you a doctor. You know what I'm saying? So a tailor is a skill set. It's not a thing I like to do. It's not a hobby. It's a skill set. And motherfuckers be saying that they tailor, and it's like, bro, show me your hours. Where's your time card? I want to see how many hours you got clocked. You don't have enough hours clocked to call yourself what you call yourself.
Mm.
And that was always the thing I didn't like, because I would always find cats in the city who would call themselves tailors, but they couldn't thread a needle. They could send some measurements off to China, but they didn't understand the mechanics. You can't call yourself a thing and you don't understand the mechanics of the thing. So I think that's the one thing people got fucked up, is that it's not simple. It's something you really got to commit yourself to. I didn't go to tailoring school. I didn't have someone teaching me. I'm a self-taught tailor, 99.9% self-taught. I just had an idea about what I wanted for myself. I started my tailoring business when I was 21, and I decided then I'm gonna be the best tailor in the city while I'm young. By the time I was 24, there was no one fucking with me in all of Memphis. They come from far and wide to see the boy. Still were making no real money, but they would come from far and wide to see the boy. So I think that's the thing, man. People just got to put respect on it. You know, they view tailoring as like a lowly thing, a low level thing. You know, it's not, man. This is the person who's a specialist. They'll make your shit right.
You know, when it comes to producing and music, and that's a little bit of some area of my expertise. You know, you got an engineer that went to school for it and he understands science of sound, versus you got people that never went to school for it and their shit sounds way louder, way better, and more
They can make
full
beats.
because it's all in the ear, because all they're doing is twisting knobs till it sounds good. They don't give a fuck about no science. They don't give a fuck about no frequency. They care about the sonics and what it feels to them. And I feel like that's something you embraced. And then other people are like, man, we got it fucked up trying to go to this university or invest 100,000 trying to go here. I ain't gonna throw no names out there, like, you know, I'm just be saying, but
Straight up.
you can go ahead and be a you know, man, you should start your own school, bro, just because you are
Oh, I
changing
am.
the way people see things and
Yeah,
do.
I definitely am. Yeah, yeah. Like it's all part of the plan, baby. Trust and believe. You know, I gotta. When my flesh leaves this space, you will know I was here.
Mm. And that is called the fresh legacy. He gonna keep it fresh. Whew. Man, I'm gonna go ahead, bro, and start to wrap this up. And if you notice, my show is different, it's unique. I like to dig into things that other people think about, but we talk about.
Right.
And I want to make sure that, you know, the viewers knows it's coming. I'm gonna hit you with it. You got any questions for me?
Um. Yeah. How do you want this? How do you see this interview impacting your viewers?
Immersively. It's gonna be just like new technology for them. To be very honest, brother, you have, you know, you put a bridge and a space that they thought was unable to connect. And you were able to go ahead and say, hey, this is a platform and a pad for you not only to land on, but to pick back up. And the whole thing is that you got to get back up. And that's something that, you know, every person I have on the show, they have a sense of success. My show is about praising personal success stories and getting people to understand that, you know, you may be afraid of success because of your environment, but there's people that got out of their environment and made their success a reality. And it took manifestation, it took prayer, it took hard work, it took 10,000 hours. I've only been doing this show since December of 2019, but I dug into what I knew how to do and what I've already done with my life and applied pressure and dug into these 10,000 hours so I could be a master in this field. You know, if you look at
That's
what I
it.
did season 1 to season 4, there's so much growth, and you could feel the growth. You could fall more in love with the interviews that are more personable than, me trying to figure out what's the difference between him trying to say something and me being quiet.
Right. Absolutely. And trust and believe. That's a skill set. And see, I'm sure you have realized it. But see, dedicating them hours, see, the money comes. Oh, man, we about to do it. Okay. How many of us out here want to be a doctor? How many of us out here want to be an attorney? Guess what you don't get before you finish your training? You don't get the money. You ain't getting the salary before you finish your schooling, Jack. You getting your hours so that you can be the master of what you do. You're able to, how many people can't they can't extract truth out of a person? They can't extract truth out of a person. They're not able to connect. I don't know you, but you're able to connect through a phone. We ain't even sitting down in person. You're able to connect through a phone. You're able to know when to hop in, how to segue from this to that, bro. That's a skill set. And guess what comes with that skill set? Money. So stay on your course, Jack. Again, come on, man. You already know it. Big things on the horizon for you.
Thank you, King. Thank you. Thank you. That's real humbling, because you've been able to get up there and been in this spot before and still see the vision. And, I got goosebumps, bro. Granted, I'm wearing this long sleeve sweater because it's cold out here, but I got goosebumps, bro. Like, you have no idea. It's like almost that feeling where I forgave myself a couple years ago to grow into who I am today. I have that same feeling right now. And it's like, it's an outer body experience. I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you, bro. Straight up.
Hell yeah, bro. On that note, it's Contrast Uncut. It's season 4. It's my first spotlight episode. And, I had to do it the right way. I had to do it with the man himself, the drip guy. I'm talking about Fresh. I'm talking about, Henry Mass. I'm talking about Patrick Henry himself. This brother let these diamonds drop on this episode. And before they hit the ground, they allow for them to shine just so you can grab them. And if you don't grab them, then you ain't drinking water. Then you ain't fucking with us. And you got to go ahead and hit rewind on this whole episode, because everything on this interview is second to none. Just like everything this brother touches. Thank you so much, Fresh, for coming on the show. Thank you.
Appreciate you, boss. What's poppin'? It's your boy, Fresh, a.k.a. the Drip Guy, a.k.a. yours truly. You know what I'm saying? Your girlfriend's favorite. CEO of Rich Fresh, HenryMass.com, baby, the flyest mask on the planet out here. My man, Zylo, Contrast Uncut, man. Shout out Bobby D, Uncle Snoop. You know how we do, man. I appreciate you. Yeah. I appreciate you, King.
100, man.
This really reminds me of some Tribe Called Quest. Hip-hop really taught me to give it all I got left. Wu-Tang taught us how to beat the projects and tell my story over beats and it could be a project. Look how it all begun.
Right there you go. Another episode of Contrast Uncut. Make sure if you enjoyed it, you leave a comment below. You hit some like buttons. You hit some subscribe. You go ahead and hit share if you want to. Say something nice or say something you don't want to say at all. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Comment below.